Hello, this is Mr. Stein, and in this video, we are going to go through Chapter 7, Systems of Linear Equations, the Pre-Requisite Skills. I'm not going to do every question. I will give you the answers for every question, but I will only demonstrate questions. Letters D are the only ones that I'll demonstrate how to do. So number 1. Determine the x-intercepts for the graph of each equation. So we need to determine the x-intercept. We'll do that one in pink, and the y-intercept in blue. All right, so I'm going to give you the answers for A and C. First off, the x-intercept, you'd find that by substituting 0 in for y and solving for x. You're going to get an x-intercept at 8, 0. This is for letter A. You're going to get a y-intercept at 0, 2. For letter C, you're going to get an x-intercept at 9, 0. And you're going to get a y-intercept at 0, -6. Those are the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts for those graphs. For letter B and D, again, I'm going to do my x-intercept in pink. For B, you're going to get x-intercept at 2 and 0. And for your y-intercept, you're going to get a y-intercept at 0 and -5. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how to do this for letter D. To figure out our x-intercept, we let y equal 0. So we write down our equation with 0 in for y. -3x equals 12. And x is equal to -4. So we get our x-intercept at -4, 0. Our y-intercept, I'm going to do this in blue. We get our y-intercept. We put x equals 0 in. So we do -3 times 0, subtract 4y is equal to 12. That becomes nothing. We get left with -4y is equal to 12, or y is equal to -3. So our y-intercept is at 0, -3. All right, now we're going to graph letter D. When you graph these, you can graph them all on the same Cartesian plane. You just draw one and graph them all in different colors. So I'm going to graph letter D. Here is x, here is y, and letter D has an x-intercept at -4, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 0, and 1, 2, 3 right there. That is what, sorry, hit the wrong button there. Letter D should look like. If you want to check your graphs for the others, you can just go on to Desmos.com or the Desmos app, type them in exactly as they are, and they'll graph them. All right, in letter 3, we're doing the exact same process. Determine the intercepts of the graph. Choose 2 to do. I'm going to give you the answers for all of them. I'm going to demonstrate how to do letter D. So letter A, remember x-intercepts are done in pink. Has an x-intercept at 5/3, 0. Now, I like to leave these in fractions, so I don't have to divide. And y-intercept at 0, -5. When I put 0 in for x, I get -5 for y. For letter B, I've got a y-intercept, an x-intercept at -2/3, 0. And my y-intercept is at 0 and 1/2. For letter C, x-intercept is at 6, 0. And my y-intercept is at 0, -3/2. Now letter D, I'm going to demonstrate how to do letter D. To figure out my x-intercept, I put y equals 0 in. So I take my equation, 1/4 x plus 1/2 y. Sorry, I put 0 in for y. I'm going to just zoom in here, just so you can see this. Is equal to 3/4. Oh, what am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm supposed to put 0 in for y. I'm supposed to substitute 0 in for y, and I'm not. So this term is going to be eliminated. We're going to get 1/4 x is equal to 3/4. Now we want to isolate x. So we multiply every term in this equation by 4. We're going to get 1x is equal to 3. So our x-intercept for this one is going to be at 3, 0. To do our y-intercept, we take our x and we substitute 0 in for it. And we get 1/4 times 0 plus 1/2 y equals 3/4. Let's zoom in on that. So this will cancel itself out, and we'll get 1/2 y is equal to 3/4. Okay, now I want to get rid of this 1/2, so I multiply every term in my equation by 2. We'll get y is equal to 6/4, or y is equal to 3/2. So my y-intercept is at 0 and 3/2. Now, if you want to check your graphs, again, just type them into Desmos and you'll figure them out. Heck, if you type them into Desmos will tell you all the x and y intercepts anyway. All right, number 5. Without graphing, determine whether each pair of equations represents parallel or intersecting lines. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. If the lines are not parallel, they will intersect somewhere. So all we have to determine is if they have the same slope. If they have the same slope, they're parallel. If not, they're intersecting. So let's look at A. This is simple. Y equals mx plus b form. Same slope. Therefore, A is parallel. So look at letter B. The slope of the top one is -1. The slope of the bottom one is -4. Therefore, they are intersecting lines. And they just do a crossing set of lines to indicate that they're intersecting. Letter C. Slope of the top one is 1/2. Slope of the bottom one is 1/3. Those are not the same slopes. Therefore, they will cross at one spot. Letter D. Slope of the top one's 3/2. Slope of the bottom one's 3/2. Therefore, they will be parallel. All right. Number 6. Express each equation in slope-intercept form. Identify whether each pair of line represents parallel or intersecting lines. Choose 2 to do. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate for you 6, C, and D because those are the harder ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite number 6A. I'm not going to show you how to do it because you should be able to manipulate equations on your own. 6, the first equation becomes y equals -x minus 6. And the second equation becomes y equals -x minus 2. Same slopes of -1. These two are parallel. Letter B. Our top equation becomes y equals -2x plus minus 3. Right, we just swap that guy over. And our second guy becomes y equals -2x plus 4. Again, we look here. Same slope, parallel. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate how to do these two because this way of manipulating with functions is very important. This top equation here, I'm going to multiply everything by 6. When I multiply everything by 6 in the top equation, I'm going to get 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I'm going to get -4x plus y equals 6 times 4 is 6 times 4 is 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8. I'm going to get that. So it's going to end up being y is equal to 4x plus 8. That was my first one. Now for my second one, I'm going to need to do this in a different color than everything else. I'm going to do this one in this green. I take everything in this equation, I times it all by 12. No, I just times everything by 4. And I'm going to get 4/3 x plus y equals -3. Now I did that so I could get y isolated already. The only coefficient on y is 1. So this becomes y is equal to -4/3 x minus 3. These two have different slopes. Therefore, they are intersecting lines. That cross means intersecting. All right, letter D. The first thing I'm going to do, just to make everything easier on myself, is I times everything in this by 10. And I get x minus 3y equals 2. Now this is a lot easier for me to understand and to work with. In the bottom, I get 2x minus 3y is equal to 7. Both of these much easier to work with now. Okay, so I'm going to work with this top equation right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, taking my top equation right here, I'm going to swap the 2 to one side and swap the y to the other side. So I'm going to get x minus 2 equals 3y. Now I divide every term by 3 to get y is equal to 1/3 x minus 2/3. Now let's look at the second one. I'm going to start out the same way. I'm going to swap these two to get 2x minus 7 equals 3y. Now I'm going to divide everything by 3 to get 2/3 x minus 7 over 3 equals y. So now these are in y equals mx plus b form. Here's my m. Here's my m. They are not the same. My slopes are not the same. Therefore, these two will intersect. All right, I realize I didn't go through every equation with you, but I hope you were able to get your questions correct that you did. And if you have any questions about it, please contact me online or put your questions in the comments below. Make sure you get Desmos so that you can graph everything. That makes things a lot easier. I mean, technically you can just graph these, but the question asks for them in slope-intercept form. Get Desmos. You can check